what we as Africans can do with our natural resources, right?
Certainly. A huge round of applause for Botswana. And Sandra here, I think, describes us very well.
But before you go further, I'm not done with my intro.
Okay, okay.
So Mobiri here is a communication strategist and the founder of the Launch Group, a growing collective of PR, stakeholder relations, content, and media businesses that serve some of the most respected corporations and institutions in Botswana and across the region. He is also a seasoned master of ceremonies, as you can tell from today. We're going to have a great time with more than 10 years of experience leading milestone events across Southern Africa, from national investment forums to high-level Africa conversations like this one. So, Miri, such a pleasure to meet you. I am looking forward to hearing this today with you.
Thank you so much, Sandra, and thank you for traveling all the way. And for those who are quite curious, yeah, I'm sitting here next to Sandra Backward. She's traveled all the way from New York, USA, to be with us here today. And I'd like you guys to give a round of applause and appreciation.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's 26-hour flight to get to Botswana. That's quite special. So Botswana is a distant part of the world. It's a small part of the world, but with a big heart. And I believe it's an honor to hold you, and we've been born to you. I like to empty that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we do move on to our program, a little bit about Sandra. She is from the United States, however, born in Ghana, lived in Italy, and then certainly became a star in the United States of America. Sandra launched her first media company at the age of 22 years old, long before it was fashionable to celebrate Africa on the global stage. Today, she runs one of the leading new media platforms, redefining African stories. She advises Fortune 500 companies on entering, understanding African markets. So that's an important role. And earlier this year, she launched a Pan-African politics and podcast, now reaches over 5 million viewers every month. Sandra is telling Africa's story. She's claiming it, changing it, and amplifying it to the world. I believe your story features the beautiful Katanina.
Oh, yes.
So I'm quite looking forward to more conversations around it.
Thank you. I am really impressed with what is happening on the continent with countries like Namibia. And I just want to really encourage all adults to follow our stories and tell our stories. We talk about Africa as a chapter. Guess what? Someone has to write that chapter, right? It's all us. So it's really a privilege to be able to see what things happen on the continent and to talk about show.
So I met someone yesterday, and interesting. Somebody said, "You guys look like." Are you related? Like, I was like, no, man, just one a day in my life. You know? So it's only God's grace that we're here with things, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna have a little quick selfie, evidence of sentimental moment. So pretty others, okay? And just well,
Thank you all. And do like twice here. Expert in you.
just like three present this. Okay. Yeah, like Ghana and Botswana is not too far.
Oh, yeah, somehow.
So do you guys want to tell me now or later? Now,
I like that.
I don't know if how to make where my phone is, but I'm sure it can work. Yeah. While we are doing that, ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit of rules, house rules to note. I know there has been a question mark out the internet. There are QR codes on all corners of the room that can scan and access Wi-Fi. You remain connected with the world as it necessarily needs to be. And then when we're speaking about lunch bathrooms, they are available at the end of each exit. You exit at your fine to the bathroom at the end of the hall, and then as you exit here, the bathroom near you. And from a safety and protocol perspective, if there is a fire alarm, please do rise and you will assemble something. There will be a fire marshal guide you that stay. I think that's no. We'll make sure.
But here's a list of yesterday. We had great this conference. It had powerful decisions. And I truly feel that the name of this conference should change from Elevate Africa to Elevate Africa. Because I feel elevated. Conversations we had. What's your takeaway from yesterday's sessions?
So the irony is that I didn't think the name open is right. When I got right, first and foremost, one thing I noticed was how colorful.
Yeah.
Everybody looks African. Trust me, you all look African, and I'm very happy about that. The colors, the thread. You could tell that many people or part of the continent are represented. It looked really good, and I believe that you could tell that this is a ceremony worth attending.
And indeed it was. And then we shall continue. Everyone, beautiful audience today. Well, yesterday was incredible. Just to highlight a key theme from the conversation yesterday, which is trust, right? And as you talk about Africa's next chapter, we can't build that next chapter without trust. And when you think about why you're here for so many years, right? I'm talking about that. How long is that for? It's time that you rose already. And I think trust is a key component of that, right? And so it was a very important theme that came up yesterday. And I think something that we can talk about. Because without trust, there's no unity. Right? And that lack of unity is why we show up on the global stage as 54 fragmented countries instead of the continental house where we can be. So Trust. Right here. Yes. The energy is. Do we need coffee? More coffee? You guys want coffee in your face?
I'm sure the ushers are some coffee, so you will be able to indulge in some coffee just shortly within the program. But at this stage, to reflect, would you like to introduce?
Absolutely. So let's get the show. And so to kick us off today, I invite CEO Elavate Africa, Mr. Daniel Ikwenadi. Yes, a quick recap of day one.
Daniel. Good morning. I hope you guys it was quite intense yesterday. And we're in it one foot in front of the other. So well we did too. So I will just do I think that we everything. So I'll just talk us through everything we just said. Using 2025 mission action.
Welcome to of the African Conveining. Yesterday, on the present theme, Africa, the next chapter, we begin the journey on the continent century to hold these fighting swimmers. We move from talk to stand, hopefully at the end of this entire program, moving action. Potential the plans and visions of further execution. Message from our founders, the messages which have clear, because clear and telling Africa belongs to Africans. Our duty is merely to dream it, but to build it brick by brick, with trust as our foundation and action as our craft. And one things I've come to be excited about is something called the charter. And I'm talking about how you can make nations progress by building trust-based societies. And so just important element if we're going to see Africa rise. So first, building trust in governance. We've got the first theme, a call to the system governance and collaboration on the foundations of trust and the Her Majesty reminded us that Africa's strength lies in not position, but in the shift from islands of excellence, networks of alliance, and trust. Mr. Wong of the Channel of Governance showed that high-performance government is not an accident, but a deliberate construction of abilities, systems, and culture. And through the policy labs of the next era, bringing some theory into practice, sustainable-centered cultural grounded models of reform. Key voices such as Ms. Edith Akridge, Vuyela, South Africa, and Representative Kim Schofield of the United States converged to truth. Government reforms must be citizenry, locally informed and blatantly executed. So, resolutions on governance from Asia institutionalize a holistic performance architecture, create national coordination units with silos, track and deliver, cultivate a culture of execution, train civil servants, master communication, innovation, and accountability. And lastly, from there, decentralize power to the people, strengthen local governance, devolve resources, and invest in labs across communities. From raw material to Africa's value creation. The powerful theme of the day was urgent call to end Africa dependency on sourcing raw materials to build value chains with Africa. Natural Resources and Sovereign Wealth Panel, brought together Secretary of China and Dr. Mzi Fulangege and Ron Perry to confront the paradox of plenty. It says last resource, last natural wealth, shared prosperity. Ms. Maynard challenged Africa, redefining its greatest asset, minerals, but people, declaring that the human resource is the greatest resource. Dr. Ngege called for the courage to lead with confidence rather than imitation, urging Africa to pioneer its models. Mr. Cherry emphasized the urgency of organizing updated minds, rooting out Russian and communities direct benefit from extraction. Their collective vision was clear. Africa's wealth lies beneath its soil, but in the heart, innovation, and integrity of its people. Resolution on natural resource and economic transformation. Build human capital as a foundation of resource governance. Establish Africa's resource leadership academics and train locals in resource management, ethical leadership, and contract negotiation. Modernize and harmonize natural resource laws. Replace colonial era frameworks with transparent, people-centered Resolutions on leadership and culture. Normalize women's leadership. Implement and enforce 50-50 representation across politics, boards, and traditional leadership spaces. Launch a continental mentorship bridge. Pair established leaders with emerging innovators to build cross-generational and cross-border collaboration. Teach integrity early. Integrate anti-corruption and ethics education into national school curricula from the primary level upwards. Owning the African narrative is number 4. The day closed with a unifying call to reclaim and amplify Africa's story from a continent of potential to a continent of proof. Dr. Amina Gurib Fakim, former president from Mauritius, and Mr. Wu Wei-nong reminded delegates that storytelling is not a soft power. It is a strategic force that shapes identity, confidence, and destiny. Dr. Ngege echoed this sentiment, urging African artists and filmmakers to use creative industry as platforms to rebrand Africa's image and launch the continent's luxury brands. Resolution on narratives. Amplify African proof. And we have plenty of that. Governments, media houses, and corporations will commit to documenting and consistently disseminating Africa's success stories quarterly to shift global perception from aid to achievement. Now, the charge for day 2. Yesterday, we defined what and why. Today, we define how. Our day 2 dialogue in leadership, trade, and investment and culture must feed directly into the Gaborone communique, not as a ceremonial declaration, but as a binding pact for action and accountability.